here with the Suffolk Mosquito Control Superintendent, Charles Abadam, to talk to us today about what mosquitoes in Suffolk really look like this year.
Well, this year's started really slow. The weather's been really cool and it's been really nice. It's almost like we've had an extended spring. So the mosquitoes have had kind of a slow start to their populations. We've had some spring mosquitoes, but everything seems pretty low. A lot of people are calling in and putting in service requests for what they say is, insects that are biting. But a lot of the times when our technicians go out and work those service requests, we're finding out that a lot of those are gnats and midges. So there are other biting insects that are out there. You got ticks, you got gnats, you got midges. And sometimes they are mistaken for mosquitoes, but we gladly go and service them. And what we do is a free survey once they put a service request in. And my technicians, they go into the yard, they inspect, they find anything that's holding water, artificial containers, or natural habitats. And that's where mosquitoes would lay eggs and larvae would hatch out. So we would call those breeding grounds. So technicians can either treat those areas or spray if it's very severe, if there's an adult problem that is there. We have options of what we can do. We're also doing a lot of education and showing homeowners that these are the types of things that are out there. Our biologists are out there, they're doing a lot of surveillance, they're setting traps out, and they're identifying mosquitoes, and right now the population is pretty low. I think when the weather gets a little bit warmer, the mosquito population is going to increase. So further into June, we should see that happening, and we'll be on call to do what we normally do, surveillance, treatments, and applications and truck sprays and what have you. So from our biologists trapping, what we do is take those traps, get those identified, figure out what species they are, so they're identifying each mosquito, they're quantifying all the mosquitoes in that trap, and then we're concentrating our efforts in areas where population densities are high, as well as if we find any mosquito pools that are positive for triple E, Eastern Equine Encephalitis, or West Nile virus, which is WNV, West Nile virus. Those are our two main diseases in Suffolk that we find yearly, and especially for triple E and West Nile, we have never had any human cases in Suffolk, which is a great thing. But for triple E, we have found some horses that come down with it, so we encourage horse owners to vaccinate their horses or get boosters, because sometimes they're already vaccinated and they just need to get boosters. So those are some of the things that we encourage people to do at their homes. Also, they can be wearing mosquito repellents when they're going outside, as well as wearing loose, long, and light colored clothing so that the mosquitoes aren't attracted to them. Mosquitoes are attracted to darker clothing, and they're attracted to the carbon dioxide that comes from us from breathing out. So if you do that, if you wear loose, long, and light colored clothing, the mosquitoes can't get to your skin. So it acts as a barrier. And then using repellents would just ward mosquitoes off of you. Some other things that homeowners can do if they're outside is they can use fans to blow the mosquitoes away, and that usually works. You need a high-powered fan in order to do that. And then avoiding the times when mosquitoes are most active, which is usually from dusk to about 2-3 hours after dusk, and early in the morning sometimes you can get an influx of mosquito activity. But mosquitoes are active all the time throughout the night as well.
So for the residents here in Suffolk, if they are experiencing a higher than normal influx of mosquitoes in their yard or on their property, I think first and foremost they go and survey the area to see if there's any mosquito areas where mosquitoes can possibly breed, or should they just call you first and say, hey, come out here and take a look?
Well, if they have any concerns at all, they can put a service request in. They can go to the website, put a service request in, they can call us, and we can put in a service request for them. And then that's when I dispatch my technicians to go out and survey the yards and see what's going on in their neighborhood.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So Charles, tell me a little bit more about these mosquito dunks. I know that we have them for free
Yes,
for residents.
absolutely.
So what can our residents do with these dunks, and what's the best way to use them?
So mosquito dunks are free for residents, and the mosquito dunks have a bacteria that's in them. They need to be placed in water so that they are active for the larvae to feed on, and that's when the larvae will die, when they feed on the bacteria that's coming off the mosquito dunks. Residents can pick up mosquito dunks at all the fire stations, all the libraries, all the rec centers, City Hall, 800 Carolina Road. They are free for citizens. They just need to fill out the information and read a little bit of information wherever they get it, and sign it so that we can release that to them.
And that's 1 pack
Per month.
per household.
Per household.
For the entire summer.
Yep.
Awesome. So I'm interested in what it looks like, the ideal conditions for a mosquito to breed.
Sure, we have a couple tires here, and tires are a perfect breeding ground for mosquitoes because the water is hard to get out of a tire if it's rimless, and it kind of creates a little microhabitat where the humidity coming off of the water, it's hot and it's shaded.
Yep.
Right? So those mosquitoes can lay their eggs in there. When it fills up with the water, they can hatch out, or they can lay the eggs on top of the water and they can hatch out and then just start doing what they do to get
Awesome.
into the adult phase.
Other than tires, though, where else in the yard can mosquitoes breed? Bird baths, any sort of
Absolutely.
place where water is held. So what are some common places that we can let our residents know now just to empty out, ensure that it's dry?
Okay.
Some tips on that.
Yeah, there's so many places that mosquitoes can breed at. That 5-gallon bucket that's behind the shed, kids' toys,
Yeah.
the water tray for a planter or a pot, that's usually always missed. You know, Suffolk is a very agricultural area, so people are growing a lot of flowers and plants, and that's everywhere. But anywhere that water will collect on tarps, we found that in your gutters, as well as your gutter extensions on the ground, especially if they're ribbed and they're not, the water isn't flowing out of them. The water can be held in that extension, and mosquitoes can breed in there. So there's a lot of artificial containers. We call those artificial containers. And then they're just natural areas. You got a ditch in front of your home. You got a low spot in your yard. If you fill that up with dirt, then it shouldn't hold any water. Bird baths, like
Yeah.
you were saying, there's so many artificial containers out there. It only takes a bottle cap full of water in order for a mosquito to be able to breed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't take a lot of water at all, and there can be a lot of mosquitoes in a very small amount.
So Charles, tell me about what residents can do when they think they have mosquitoes in their yard. So they just reach out to your division, they call, or they check you out on the website and they schedule a call for service?
Sure, there are several ways that they can contact us via email or the website, and they can put in a service request. They just have to fill out the form and it comes straight to us, and then we can dispatch our technicians to go out and do the service their home. It's a free survey of their yard, and then they will go out and check the neighborhood as well.
Awesome. So Charles, this is a spray truck, am I right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I think it's important for our residents to know what this looks like when it's in
Sure.
their neighborhood, and maybe the sound it makes, the noise it makes,
Absolutely.
and expectations. Also, I know we get a lot of questions about bees.
Sure.
And the effects or possible effects or no effects on folks who keep bees in their yards. So let's talk about that.
So mosquito control uses all the information we take from surveillance, and then we take that information and say, okay, we need to concentrate in this area. There's a lot of adult mosquitoes, so what we possibly need to do a spray. So we take all that information, pass it through our thresholds, figure out what we need to do, and figure out where we need to go. If we deploy a spray truck, then it's sprayed in the evening when the bees are actually bedding down. So from about I'd say usually about 6:45 in the summer to 7 we start and it continues. A lot of mosquitoes have different times of the day when they're most active. And they are most active during that time. So spray trucks will come through the neighborhood. They only spray on public right-of-way, and it can be loud. But that just means that the spray is being done and it's working. So when they're bees, if I do have notification that an area has beehives, that means the beehive is located at an address. So in our system, when our sprayer is driving down the road, there is a small bee notification, and our sprayer can turn off the spray before they get to the home and then turn on the spray afterwards, just to limit any possible bee contact at all. So just want to make sure that people know that we're trying to also be stewards to the environment and keep bee death down as well.
Awesome. So if we have a resident that has bees and they need to register that with the city, what's the best way for them to let you know?
They can email or call. They can also put a service request and say, we'd like to be put on the no spray list. So I keep a no spray list and update it every year in order to keep my list updated.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Charles. I had a great time today learning about all these mosquitoes. I really appreciate your time and your information. For more information for our residents, check out our website, and have a great summer.